Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sam here from Lake Pro Tackle. Guys, we're still getting all set back up from WeCast 2026. It was an amazing and huge success, so thank you to everyone that showed out to the event. It was incredible. I hope you enjoyed the giveaways, free items, sample packs. Big thank you to BKK, Owner Hooks, of course, Daiwa, and Shimano, Baits Fishing for showing out here at the event specifically, and of course, Heart Brand Beef Company. Check out the link down in the description, guys. Those are the people that provided the hot dogs or Wagyu beef franks for the event. Absolutely incredible. The second year they've done that, and we want to give them a humongous shout out. And I also forgot, 100% totally forgot, all on me, guys, that we were supposed to give away some steak packages as well. So in this video, we're going to be choosing a lucky comment, a lucky winner, maybe about a week from now, and we're going to be giving away one of the steak packages that way. So let me do this. So comment down below what your favorite new product is for 2026 that you either saw at iCast or you saw at WeCast. And that definitely will get you all entered up. One entry per person, guys. I'm going to do like that random comment generator deal, and we'll see who the lucky winner is a week from today on, I guess, the 12th. On Wednesday, we're going to choose a random winner. But this video, guys, we're going to be talking about the buzzbait, more specifically the Buzz Wagon. This guy right here is a new bait from Missile Baits, came out here in 2026. We just got them in the shop, and lucky me, I had first access to them and was able to catch a few fish on them. Now, there's a lot of cool details about the Buzz Wagon that's a little bit different from a lot of the buzz baits out there on the market. Though, you know, when it comes to buzz baits and especially topwater, it's very, very hard to diversify. And what I mean by that is, you know, the buzz bait overall is pretty simple. It's a hook, it's some wire, it's a blade, sometimes a clacker, maybe some other random things like rattles or something like that. But this right here, the Buzz Wagon from Missile Baits, is very unique in its own right and has a lot of really cool features that we're going to be talking about in this video, as well as different ways to fish it, trailers to pair up with it, rods and reels that I like personally, and that is going to be kind of the summation of the video here. So let's go ahead and get started. You know, this guy right here comes in a couple different colors. This one specifically has a pink blade, there's white blade, I think there's silver blade, I think there's a black blade even. These right here have a couple really unique features that I really enjoy on them. You know, number one, this does use the Gamakatsu flipping hook on it. It is ultra sharp, and I know that because as I was taking it out of the package, the hook point went straight into my finger, and I was bleeding for about 5 minutes, and it finally just now stopped. There's blood all over the bag here. You probably can't see it because the bag's red, but my blood is all over that one. Don't worry, I'll clean it up. And we will be selling this as a demo package. You'll get the buzzbait, you'll get the trailers, and you'll get the braid in the video that I show here. So don't worry, I'll clean up all the blood. It's not that much. But what's unique about this, of course, the flipping hook on here, ultra sharp, and it also has this little nasty bend in it and really good barb. So this bend is going to help you keep those fish on. One of the issues with the buzz baits is that your line tie is so far away from the hook that a lot of the time, if that fish flips over, this can rotate out. Luckily, the barb is there and it locks that fish on. I see a lot of buzz baits that use kind of just a standard like straight shank hook, and there's no barb, and a lot of those times the fish can rotate out that hook and they'll come off. What I like about this too is the weight is molded below the main wire, as you can see right here, guys. So you're going to see that weight is molded below to lower that center of gravity, and that's going to help this buzzbait run extremely straight. Another piece on here is going to be right here, guys. You're going to have kind of a clacker plate, which this blade is going to be hitting, and you can hear it just a little bit there as I push this down. You want it to hit that clacker plate, and it's going to give you the best sound possible. Another thing with this is going to be the funnel system right on the blade there. That is going to allow you to fish through heavy cover like weeds, potato grass, hydrilla, stuff like that. Any topped out grass vegetation, this is going to be able to run straight through that. Another benefit is rolling over wood, especially with that low center of gravity. As you hit pieces of wood, it's going to hit that, stall the bait, and allow that fish that split second, microsecond decision to go attack this bait. And it's also going to help keel the bait to roll over. And with that low center of gravity, going to keep that hook point up and out of the cover. Now, when it comes to fishing a buzzbait, there's so many areas you can fish it. You know, the buzzbait universally is a great lure to fish almost all times of the year, maybe with the exception of dead of winter, when most people aren't throwing topwater anyway. But typically in my rotation for top waters, I start out the year with a buzzbait, then I might go to like a whopper plopper, slow it down a little bit with a popper, you know, as it starts getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and then I'll pick it up again, especially right now in the post spawn. Here in Texas, we're almost in summer patterns, but if you're up north, you guys are still kind of in that spawn slash post spawn time frame. And a lot of these fish, especially ones that eat bluegill, these are going to be fish you want to target. That leads me into my first trailer of business here. So these right here are the G-Crack Bellows Gill Elastomer. And if you aren't familiar with the Bellows Gill, guys, or G-Crack in general, this is a great opportunity to give these a try. So normal plastic that they use is going to have SAF infused in it, which is salt, amino, and flavor. These guys also have that SAF scent in it. However, these are elastomer. Most of their regular plastics are standard plastic with the salt and amino flavor in it. These guys here are elastomer. They do come individually packaged, which I absolutely love. And there's a hook slot in here, so if you do rig these up and you want to keep your hook in it, you can definitely do that. Very, very easy to do. Now, this guy right here specifically is the 2.8-inch Bellows Gill. This is going to imitate that juvenile bluegill coming out of that post-spawn time frame, or even if you're in the spawn time frame, this is a great lure to put on the back of a buzzbait to slow the bait down. Anything with a lot of frills, a lot of kickers is going to slow the bait down and allow you to keep the bait in the strike zone. Now, specifically, like I said, this is kind of for that bluegill pattern. This is a black coloring here. This is going to act really just as a silhouette, something to keep above the fish's head and get them to react to it. Now, I highly advise you to fish this specifically around grass. It can work around isolated wood, but this excels around grass, where the bluegill primarily hang out and will feed and act as ambush predators towards minnows and small shad and stuff like that. Rigging it, very simple. I'm going to go horizontal, so I'm going to keep that bait flat instead of tall, and it's really going to catch a lot of water, and it takes a little bit to get that hook in there. You really want to make sure it's on as straight as possible, coming out of the center, just like this. And once it's on, I mean, it is on. That elastomer's holding tight, and it creates a very unique profile that not a lot of people are throwing. And it's a really small trailer. You don't need a ton of trailer on your buzzbaits. I think a lot of people seem to misunderstand that most of the time the buzzbait, the blade is going to be doing a lot of the work attracting those fish. You just need something, a small stack perhaps, to get those fish to commit all the way. But that right there, guys, is my main primary bluegill imitation, allowing it to slow down, stay in the strike zone, and be able to fish around heavy cover thanks to this funnel cone on the Buzz Wagon here. Now, when it comes to fishing around more open water, let's say dock areas, if you're flipping back in a marina, or if you're fishing around open water like a bluff wall, one of my favorite, absolute favorite trailers to use, which is going to be able to cover water a lot more quickly because it doesn't have a ton of bellows or doesn't have a ton of appendages, is going to be the spunk shad here. So this one specifically is the spunk shad in the 4.5-inch frosted purple, one of my favorite colors for shad imitations. A lot of the time in more open water, especially early morning, shad will rise up to the surface, kind of cool down a little bit, and then go back down once the water heats up. This 4.5-inch spunk shad, what you want to do is get that tip of the nose of the plastic right up on that lead piece. So mark where it comes out visually right there, and I'm going to insert this and show you exactly what it looks like. And one tip that I can give that really helps when it comes to threading trailers on your buzz baits is look at it straight down. Make sure that hook point is going straight into the plastic and not veering off to one side or the other. That right there was perfect. Just hitting that lead portion, and that, guys, is a snack for a bass. This blade gonna create a little bit of commotion in the water. The little pintail from the spunk shad is gonna kind of just wave in the back, and that right there is a killer way to target shad eaters. Now, of course, you can put a swim bait on. You can put a wide variety. You can fish it naked sometimes and still get fish to eat it. One of my favorite ways to catch fish on a buzzbait overall is just skirted buzzbait. no trailer if I don't have to have it, and it works incredibly well. But when you add something like this, a frosted purple color specifically, where it's translucent and that fish, as soon as it gets up next to it, it's just a little, kind of disappears on them, they go crazy for it. And the clacking on this blade is extremely good as well. Very tunable if you want to get rid of the clack, or just slightly push that down and it's going to provide a little bit of a clack on that clack plate there. So that is the Spunk Shad 4.5. Of course, you can go a little smaller if the shad in your bodies of water is a little smaller. And don't forget, we will be selling all of this as a demo kit. Each one will be rigged up, but don't worry, it won't be like crazy broken. These are a really cool bait that we got from Eros, Korea. These are the Rollin. So these are kind of like an easy shiner, where they are going to have a very small minimal tail section on them. These come in a pack of, I think it's 7 pieces, 3.8 inches. As you can see here, these things are ultra soft. And you see that tail there, there's really not much material on it, which allows this to have a lot of free range of motion. Now, the main difference between this bait here and an easy shiner is there's a lot more body to it. It's still really soft, kind of open pore style, but there's a lot more body. A lot of the time with the small easy shiners, they're so skinny, they're so not durable that they just break apart. This one, I'm touching the lead. I don't want to go up onto the lead, but I'm just going to touch the lead, come out about an inch-ish down. So these are also very greasy. They've got a lot of scent on them. Like, it doesn't smell bad or anything, but golly, they are a little bit greasy, but something tells me the fish don't mind. These here, again, very durable compared to an easy shiner. If you're looking for like an A-rig replacement, this is definitely one to try out. But like I said there, you don't want to go too far up onto the lead. I did go a little bit far. You can always break it down just a little bit, but that right there, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're fishing around wood and you've got little glass minnows, little Texas shiners, this is an incredible way to imitate those. That, again, that tail ever so slightly will wiggle. It's going to go pretty quick too, high frequency, but it's so soft, and that tail doesn't have like a ton of just bulk to it, so it moves extremely easy. Another little hack you can do is actually rig this upside down where the tail's pointing the other way, and it's going to get even more action. A little bit different action, but even more action just because it's catching more water. This, guys, is incredible around literally anything. I prefer definitely fishing it around more of that isolated cover, like laydowns and stuff like that. It's going to give that fish a little bit of a chance to kind of feel it a little bit more and decide if it wants to eat it. So we just went over 3 different trailers here, kind of a bluegill imitation, specific shad imitation, and then this one is kind of like do it all, but really target specific. And that is kind of my top 3 baits for the buzz bait on the Buzz Wagon here. Now let's talk about rod, reels, and line. So this is a new braid that I've been lucky to try out for a little bit since its release a couple months ago. This is the Cast Fishing X12. This is the frogging and flipping braid. There have been so many amazing reviews on this. This is very similar in feel to something like Seaguar Smackdown, except it's got more strands to it. What I love about the X12 is it's very supple. It doesn't shred like some of the Smackdown that I've had over time. It starts to shred because there's not many carriers in it. This one here doesn't shred that easy. This is the 65 pounds. They also have an 80 pound, but the 65 pounds for me is a do-it-all, like really good heavy cover, flipping, punching, topwater style braid. Very supple. Again, it holds its shape just a little bit, but will bend very easily, as you can see there. So this is great for immediate, like even slackline fishing. You can definitely do that as well. I'm going to pair that up with usually one of 2 reels. Of course, almost any reel will work in this situation, especially for topwater. You want to, number 1, make sure you've got enough line capacity, drag, as well as power over the fish. So as you're fishing in topwater, I typically like to fish in 8 speed, almost no matter what. However, if you're fishing extremely heavy cover like grass, sometimes I'll go down to a 7 speed just to have that extra bit of torque or add a separate handle on. This reel right here came out this past year. This is the Daiwa Tutula Elite Pitch and Flip. It's going to have an upgraded handle, a little bit longer handle, upgraded knobs. These are EVA knobs, very big, nice and sturdy. And even though it's a flipping pitching reel, it still holds quite a bit of line. You're going to get a good amount of the 65-pound line on there, still able to make extremely long casts. This also has a very, very heavy rating for your drag. I mean, this thing can lock down and really, really not move. It'll get those fish out of the deepest cover. I love this one because it's just so tanky, it's built right, and it has all the equipment you need straight out of the box. Another incredible reel that is a just bread butter staple that I have to have all the time in my boat is the Shimano Bantam. This one here particularly, I like to have the 8-speed on, and this is going to be more of that open water reel. This isn't something that I typically use in ultra heavy cover, but can definitely do it. Out of all the Shimanos out there, this guy is literally like solid metal. This one has a great drag rating as well, and it has the just overall capacity for extreme loads. You're going to get a good amount of line on this. It's a 150 size reel, so you're going to get about 95, 100 yards of that 65-pound braid. This one here is going to be closer to like 70, 80, but that's still quite a long way. Like, you will be pretty hard pressed to get a full, cast out of this and not spool it, or I guess you should be able to get a full cast and not spool the reel, which is great. It is built with the long cast system, so depending on exactly what lure you're throwing, you might be able to spool it, but that is for you to try out. Definitely check it out, lakeprotackle.com. These guys right here are a couple rods that I want to talk about as well, specifically for the Buzz Wagon. It does have this big flip and hook on it, so you want to make sure you've got a rod built for it. Starting out at the lowest tier here in terms of price, this is the BB series from Halo rods. This is the Froggen rod. This specifically is a 7'2" heavy. This does have a little bit of a softer tip section, which you really want for a buzzbait, especially if they're eating it slow. And as you're constantly reeling, you want to make sure that fish has a little bit of give to really suck that bait in. This rod does that. Incredible for a frog as well. Has enough backbone to where even in the thickest cover, you can get them out of there. This one here starts at $189.99 and doesn't go up. It's $189.99. There's not a bunch of different models in there that are different prices. This one here, one of my all-time favorite rod series, the Shimano X Pride B. These came out a few years back, and in terms of blank technology, in terms of all the bells and whistles you get on it, this is like a great starting point for anyone that really enjoys just having to fish all day and not get tired and be able to make all the casts you need without just really bogging yourself down throughout the day. The blank itself, ultralight, uses Spiral X, and what that is essentially the blank is wrapped in such an angle to where it minimizes the twist. All the power you put into the rod is directly translating into the bent curve directly to that fish through the line there, and uses very, very good components. This one here, the X Pride B, specifically that I would choose for the buzzbait in this situation, is the 7.3 heavy. This one here is still going to have a little bit of a soft tip, kind of that normal like medium heavy bend curve to where you've got a little bit of tip section down about maybe 20% of the rod, and then it stiffens up into the heavy blank all the way down there. One of my all-time favorite rods that you definitely should check out if you're looking to upgrade from some lower tier rods, I guess. This one in particular is an all-time favorite among a lot of anglers I know. It's really, really hard to beat this rod when it comes to a topwater rod in terms of lightness and sensitivity. This is the Megabass P5 Destroyer FMJ, coming in at 7.3, 6 power, which basically means heavy / medium / heavy, medium heavy. It's got a softer tip section. This was really made for bottom contact, but it has the same bend curve as that X Pride, where it's going to bend about 20% down, really stiffen up into a good backbone. Comparing these two rods, and the X Pride I do want to say is going to be that 340 range. This one here is going to be that 500 range, the P5. Little bit lighter than the X Pride, a little bit more balanced in my opinion. And you're also going to get a lot of more premium components when it comes to the eyelets going down. And I really enjoy this cork a little bit more. It's a little more fine cork in the hand. The X Pride's still going to be a little chunky. If you know what I mean, if you're a cork connoisseur like I am, these cork handles feel absolutely incredible. I do know that some people complain about this little butt end on the P5. It's a little small, I will give it that. But this rod here is incredible for making those long distance casts, especially with like a buzzbait, topwater, anything with a little bit bigger hook. When paired up with something like the Bantam, it is pretty much unmatched. Pair it up with the braid, or if you're looking for just like a flipping, pitching / jig setup, this is one of the most incredible combos you can really have. I mean, of course, there's Metanium, there's Antares, but balance and sensitivity, the Bantam and the FMJ go together just so well. Peanut butter and jelly, guys. I mean, this is an incredible combo. One of my absolute favorite. And definitely want y'all to check them out, as well as all the cool things we have at Lake Pro Tackle and lakeprotackle.com. If you ever make the trip up, let me know. Of course, we do have that little contest running for a steak package from Heart Brand Beef Company, so let me know what cool products you enjoyed from iCast or WeCast 2026. We'll be choosing the winner on the 12th at 10:30, around that time there. And I do have some good news, guys. Grow Design Works coming in very soon. Flag 255 and Flag 170. And I can't wait to get those to y'all. We've got a bunch more products coming in day to day. Check out Instagram and Facebook at Lake Pro Tackle. Make sure to join the members channel for secret drops and updates, for constant updates of when new stuff goes into the system, guys. But thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it. Make sure to comment down below. Get in on that contest. Heart Brand Beef Company raising Akushiki Wagyu beef or cows, Wagyu cows. And can't wait to get a lucky winner, a nice steak package. And we'll see you in the next video. See you guys.